Born on November 30th, 1835 in Florida, Samuel L. Clemens wrote under the pen name Mark Twain and went on to pen several novels, including two major classics of American literature, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Writing grand tales about Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, and the mighty Mississippi River, Mark Twain explored the American soul with wit and sharp eye for truth. He became nothing less than a national treasure. When Twain was 4, he moved to Hannibal, a town along the Mississippi River. The town of Hannibal inspired many fictional characters and places in Mark Twain's novels. These imaginary river towns are complex places. Sunlit and amazing on one hand, but on the other hand are nests of cruelty, poverty, drunkenness, loneliness, and life-crushing boredom, all of which play in to inspire Mark Twain's novels. When Twain reached the age of 21, he fulfilled his lifelong dream of becoming a steamboat pilot along the Mississippi River. Spending time with and listening to the townspeople talk about their lives, Twain found a lot of inspiration from many of his characters and settings in his novels. I love my mama and papa too, Twain based the stories and characters in The Adventures of Tom Sawyer on his youth in Hannibal, Missouri. The character of Tom Sawyer is said to be a combination of Twain and his two childhood friends. Through Tom Sawyer, Twain uses the stories to paint a picture of the pre-Civil War era. He referred to these times in the book as those simple days. In reality, life was not as simple. Tom is a free spirit to anyone who knows him. All he wants to ever do is go off on adventures or daydream for the entire day. He is very mischievous and always winds up where he shouldn't be or finds a way to get out of work. Tom Sawyer's best friends include Joe Harper and Huckleberry Finn. In The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Tom's infatuation with character Becky Thatcher is apparent. He lives with his younger brother Sid and his cousin Mary and his stern Aunt Polly in the fictional town of St. Petersburg, Missouri. Tom falls in love with Becky Thatcher, a new girl in town, and persuades her to get engaged by kissing him. But their romance collapses when she learns Tom has been engaged previously to a girl named Amy Lawrence. Shortly after being shunned by Becky, Tom accompanies Huckleberry Finn to the graveyard at night where they witness the murder of Dr. Robinson. Tom, Huck, and Joe Harper run away to an island. While enjoying their newfound freedom, the boys become aware that the community is sounding the river for their bodies. Tom sneaks back home one night to observe the commotion. After a brief moment of remorse at his loved one's suffering, Tom is struck by the idea of appearing at his funeral. Back in school, Tom gets himself back in Becky's favor after he nobly accepts the blame for a book she has ripped. Soon, Muff Potter's trial begins, in which Tom testifies against Injun Joe, who really killed Dr. Robinson. Joe Potter is acquitted, but Injun Joe flees the courtroom through a window. Tom then begins to fear for his life as Injun Joe is at large and can easily find him. Summer arrives and Tom and Huck go hunting for buried treasure in a haunted house. After venturing upstairs, they hear a noise below. Peering through holes in the floor, they see Injun Joe disguised as a deaf-mute Spaniard. Injun Joe and his companion plan to bury some stolen treasure of their own. From their hiding spot, Tom and Huck wriggle with delight at the prospect of digging it up. Huck begins to shadow Injun Joe nightly, watching for an opportunity to nab the gold. Meanwhile, Tom goes on a picnic to McDougal's cave with Becky and her classmates. That same night, Huck sees Injun Joe and his partner making off with a box. He follows and overhears their plans to attack the widowed Douglas. By running to fetch help, Huck stops the violence and becomes an anonymous hero. A week later, Tom takes Huck to the cave and they find the box of gold, the proceeds of which are invested for them. The widow Douglas adopts Huck, and when Huck attempts to escape civilized life, Tom tricks him into thinking if Huck returns to the window, he can join Tom's robber band. Reluctantly, Huck agrees and goes back to the widow Douglas. I ain't gonna work next day. I ain't gonna work tomorrow, for that is my wedding day. Well, I asked your mama for you. I asked your papa too. They both said no, little don't it can't go. Darling, I don't know what to do.
I love my mama and papa.